This video you're about to watch is one I've been planning on making for several weeks now. I bought this manual we're going to talk about from Amazon a couple 3 weeks ago after going to a real quick kind of a seminar class with my kids. And as I stand here introducing this today, we are right on the heels of a horrible mass killing, mass murder, active shooter situation in Las Vegas, Nevada, here in the U.S. Just last weekend. So first of all, my prayers and condolences and hearts go out to all the victims' families and the victims and the people that were injured and lost loved ones. It's just horrible. Over 50-something people died. I don't know what the final count is this time you're watching this, but and several hundred injured from somebody shooting from a hotel window down into a concert crowd. I just thought, you know, I probably now might be a good time to go ahead and try to get this video out, because it is on people's minds, and I think this is important information. Anyway, we're going to talk about it's the Active Shooter Survival Manual from a guy named Philip Ball. And I'll get into the details of that in just a minute, but that's what's coming up next here on Survival on Purpose. Welcome back to Survival on Purpose, your home for information and gear reviews related to camping, survival, and general preparedness for regular folks. My name is Brian. Thanks for joining me. So, like I said, we're on the heels here of just a couple of days ago as I'm making this, a horrible event in Las Vegas, Nevada. And a couple of weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, almost a month ago, I went to a little evening seminar with our homeschool group put on by a guy named Philip Ball. Man, his credentials are really just long. I'll just read you a couple of them. He's got decades of experience in law enforcement. He's also as an instructor. He's a firearms instructor in Florida, Georgia, and with the FBI. He's a taser instructor, active shooter response instructor, active killer survival instructor, a crisis intervention training instructor, a patrol rifle instructor, defense tactic instructor, advanced armorer, SWAT officer, just school resource officer. His credentials are literally almost a page and a half in this little book. And I got to say, we went to the seminar the other night, or the other week actually, and it was pretty interesting. There's a lot of kids there. It's just sad, and it's a shame to me that we have to be concerned about those sort of things in this world, but that's the world we live in. So anyway, Philip wrote this little book, and it's a small book. It's only like what is it? I don't know, 30 pages or so, and it's $5 on Amazon. Okay, so it's really cheap. And you can get the Kindle version for like $2. And I, after going to his class and seeing what we did, and I'll tell you a little bit about that in a minute. I'll try not to make this too long because I know you got other things to do. But I do think this is a very important, valuable little book. In many active shooter, active killer situations, the information here definitely can save your life. And I just want to go over a couple of brief things about it. First of all, it talks about mindset of both backfire. It talks about mindset of both the person that would do something like that, and how to maybe recognize and see warning signs in advance that you might could, help prevent tragedy like that. But it also talks about your mindset if you're faced with a situation like that, and how you have to have a warrior mindset. So there's a few things here that everybody needs to know, and some people they may be very familiar with some of these concepts if you've had any kind of tactical or firearms training. Some people haven't. One of the things that's really important to know is the difference between concealment and cover. And if you probably already know this, but concealment is something that hides you, and cover is something that has the potential to protect you from bullets. So it's real important that our kids know that, or they're going to be a place. Even if we know it, it's important that our kids know it also, so they're not hiding behind a cardboard box thinking they can't see me. They learn the difference and learn how to try to identify those types of situations and those ways to protect themselves in advance. One thing that I thought was really eye-opening to me, and he gave us statistics. It was something like maybe it was 90-something%, between 75 and 95% of active shooter, and he calls them active killers because that's what the people are. Active shooters, they happen in gun-free zones. because the guy, the shooter in Colorado, Aurora, Colorado, that shot the theater up a couple of years ago and killed a lot of people, he actually told the police that he went past 3 other theaters that were closer to his home because they weren't gun free. He chose one that did not allow, he knew that the people would be unarmed and they would be easier for him to kill, because what this guy goes into in the mindset of these active killers is that their goal typically is to just, they don't plan to walk out of there alive. And as we saw in Nevada, the guy kills himself, right? That's usually what happens. They kill themselves. They're planning on killing themselves for whatever reason. They want to take as many people with them as they can because they're sick, demented, evil individuals. But that's what happens. So one of the things he talks about is if somebody's going around killing people, you get rid of your, I'm going to talk them out of it, I'm going to reason with them, I'm going to do any of that. You got to get, your mindset's got to change. Okay, this person is going to kill me. I can't talk him out of it. All I can do is either try to escape or try to stop him. And that's or her, as the case may be, by the way. And I think that's the that's kind of one of the focuses in here, but it's really, I'm rambling a lot. I'm sorry, my mind is still kind of reeling from what's going on in Las Vegas. And maybe I shouldn't even make this video right now, but it just seems so applicable that I've been sitting on this book for a couple, 3 weeks that I just need to go ahead and get this information out there. I do think that he's not, as opposed to what I've heard about from England recently in terrorist attacks, the thing is to run and hide and call somebody. His viewpoint is to run and hide and call somebody, but be prepared to fight. And he gives you plenty of concrete ways that you can be prepared to fight, to blockade yourself in a place to keep the guy out, or the killer out, man or woman, whoever it might be. A couple of real practical little tips that I drew out of here. I'm not going to read you the book to you, although I probably could because it's pretty short. One thing about being prepared, just make sure where you are, you have shoes you can run in. You know, I see so many people now walking around with flip-flops and stuff all the time, and that's fine if you're at the beach or whatever, but if you're in a situation maybe where you're going to a crowd, because these things always happen in crowds. They always go where there's a lot of people so they can try to kill as many people as they can because they're sick, demented, evil creatures. But I see people, and if you have to run or you have to help somebody or your kids run, I don't know, can you run in flip-flops? Can you run barefooted if there's glass broken flying around and stuff? And that, in my opinion, you know, it's better to always at least have some sturdy shoes or something you can run in. Here's another little tip that I thought was really cool. You know, all the kids at school now have these backpacks, right? One thing he said, you got a backpack full of books, that makes a pretty good improvised bullet resistant vest. So if your kid's got a backpack full of books, just tell them to turn around, put it on front of them. You know, if the guy's in front of them, that could help protect them from getting shot. That's just something simple that you don't even think about maybe, but it could help. And then one thing I want to bring up, and I'll quit rambling here. He's got a list of possible improvised weapons. Everything from a fire extinguisher to a pot of hot water, or you know, sharp pencil, or anything like that. And he's got a really good list of what I saw as EDC items. And I was going to go over that with you real quick and just see where you're at on it. I can tell you where I'm at on it. And then I'll tell you a couple things from our seminar, and I'll wrap this up. Because I don't want to ramble on, and I don't want to make this any longer than it has to be. But I do think it's a really important subject. So it says everyday items you should always have with you. Now, some places you can't have some of this stuff, which is ridiculous, but that's the way it is. A pocket knife, I agree with that. I've got a pocket knife. A flashlight, or a tactical flashlight, not just an app on your phone, but a real flashlight. I've usually got at least 1 or 2 of those with me. A survival mirror to look around corners or to signal your location. See, that's a good idea. I don't have that, but it'd be a good idea to have a little mirror. You can look around corners and see what's going on before sticking your head out there. It's a great idea. Backup battery for your cell phone, sometimes I have that. A paracord bracelet. My son made me this one. You can tie doors closed. There's a couple ways you can do that. You can rappel if you have to. It does hold some weight. You can make a tourniquet if you need to, maybe stop off blood. You can tie up the suspect if you get him immobilized while you wait for the police. A belt with a sturdy buckle. You can use it also to bind the door closed. And we'll talk about that in a second. And or maybe for an improvised tourniquet, possibly. Pepper spray is a really good thing to have with you. I don't ever have that hard, ever, just so you know. And he recommends the stream or the foam types. The stream will shoot further, up to 10 feet, and the foam is more accurate and stable. He says to avoid the fogger type because they're going to blow back on you pretty readily. A firearm, if you're able, legal, and if you're willing to get trained to carry it. Because what's the first rule of any gunfight? Have a gun. A multi-tool or a multifunctional knife. Sometimes I have one of those. A tactical pen, usually I have one of those. A cigarette lighter, I have one of those. A first aid kit, I carry a tourniquet with me, but usually not a first aid kit everywhere I go, so that's something else to think about. A compass, Yeah, I don't have a compass with me most of the time, but that can be very helpful if you're in a kind of a confused, lost situation. And if even if you have an old inactive cell phone that you can pre-play stuff, that if you're in somewhere they take your phones away, if it's a hostage situation or whatever. And by the way, the book talks about the difference between a hostage situation and an active killer situation. And you can dial 911 with any inactive phone. I didn't know that, but that's what he told me. So that's kind of the heads up about this. I'll put a link to this book below because I do think it's worth $5, man. It just really is. There's the information in here. Some of it you might already know, and some of it will be like, wow, that is so simple. There's no fluff in here. As you can see, it's a small book. There's not a lot of, it's not like padded out to try to fill out pages. It's just good information, which I think is cool. So real quick, let me tell you a couple things I learned from the seminar that I think some of them are covered in here. You know, in commercial doors, they have those closures at the top that kind of look like, from the bottom, look like this, and they open like this and close like this. Well, if you got anything, if you're inside trying to barricade yourself in a room, and you got those closures that are, you know, the commercial ones at the top, and they kind of do this, right? If you tie those things together where they're bound up like this with a good sturdy belt or some paracord or whatever, that door won't be able to open because they won't, and you got a lot of leverage there on that little thing. So if you can really tie it up tight, that can keep them from getting into the room. Most school rooms have those kind of door locks on them. A lot of commercial buildings do so, and that's where most of this stuff happens, in gun-free zones, because that's just what happens. Active shooters happen in gun-free zones. So that's one thing to learn. Another thing I thought was really cool, he said a lot of schools, because he puts on seminars at schools, they have tell their kids to everybody bring a canned good at the first of the year, and they stack them all in the back of the room, right? So they'll have them. And then they have drills, just like they have fire drills, they have active shooter drills in some schools, and they teach these kids, everybody go get a canned good and hide where they can't. And if somebody comes in the door, everybody throw that can at one time. So if you're a guy coming in trying to kill people, and all of a sudden there's 30 cans of corn coming at your head, that might give you pause, or it might give them time to do something else. And then at the end of the year, if they don't thankfully have any problems, they give them to the needy. So I thought that's a pretty good idea. So anyway, it's a really good book. I highly recommend it. It's well worth the $5. And Philip Ball, by the way, is the owner of the Situational Awareness Institute, which is a tactical firearms type training company, and he does firearms training and active killer training, a lot of different stuff like that. So you can check him out there. I really hope this has been helpful. Again, the information in this little $5 book could literally save your life or your kid's life. And I'm not just saying that to sound all dramatic and all that. I really believe that. And it's a quick read, 25 pages. So, again, my prayers and my heart goes out to the families that lost people in Las Vegas, and to the people that are holding on, struggling for their life still right now. And it's a sad situation. And let me just say this right now: if you want to get on and comment about guns or no guns, or why the guns are the problem, or anything about politics, or all the crap about whether it's Trump or I don't want to hear it. Just leave it alone. Okay, that's not what this is about. This is not the venue for that. I will block those comments. I'm going to delete them. I'm not going to. This video is not going to turn into a finger pointing divisive thing. Okay, we got enough division in this country, and I'm pretty much done with that stuff. So if that's all you got to say, don't say it here. Anyway, like I said, I've been sitting on this for a couple, 3 weeks, just on my list to do, and it just seemed like now would be the appropriate time maybe to bring this to your attention. I wish that it wasn't so. Anyway, as always, thanks for watching Survival on Purpose. My name's Brian. Remember, survival's not an accident, so be prepared. I'll see you next time.